It's not very often that I get to talk about my favorite games on this channel, but today is a special day. 2 years ago, on this day, today, April 26, 2023, Honkai Star Rail has been released publicly, leaving the closed beta. I wanted to dedicate this video to tell you my story of how I got to play this game, why do I like the game, what this game has to offer, why do I still play this game, why it's one of my favorite games, and I also want to praise and criticize certain things. The year was 2023. Some of you are too young to know and some are too old to remember. But it was a good year. It was a post-COVID era, so some things have already gotten better in prior years and other things had a chance to improve. At least in comparison to 2020 and 2025, 2023 did not have COVID or useless government trying to ruin people's lives for no reason. Back then, when YouTube ads were still bearable, but not for long, I would still use YouTube app on my phone to watch videos and, well, ads. Among the myriad of adverts for stupid mobile games, financial scams, penis enlargement pills, and other such stuff, I was starting to see these ads for something new, maybe an anime, but I later realized it was a new game that was coming out. You can still find that old video on YouTube and oh boy, it brings back memories. Honkai Star Rail advertisement I saw back then was not the same as all the other ads I saw. It captured me the very first time I've seen it, but it wasn't actually enough to get me to go and check out the game. It was maybe on the third time that I actually went on their website to see the new game. To be honest, I did not play the game on the actual release date. The first time I actually played the game was on May 6th, 2023, about 2 weeks after the public release. I don't recall exactly, but I think I saw the ads after the game has released to the public, and at that time I've seen only two ads. There was that funny one and then there was the one with Zelle.
Here they come again.
Quick, don't let her get away! It's a dead end, she's done!
Making trouble on Wildfire's territory? You guys got a lot of nerve. Still here? I'm afraid things just got complicated.
I also had the game downloaded and just waiting for me to actually play it for a couple of days. And that's about all that happened. I played the game and I was quite surprised it was a turn-based game. Up until this point I've only played Final Fantasy X, which is another turn-based game, and I didn't really like it. So I guess you can say I had a negative bias towards the game, but I did end up liking it.
In an unknown universe, among the unknown stars, a new adventure awaits. A Hoyoverse space fantasy RPG, Honkai Star Rail.
So what kept me playing, and by extension, what are the things that I liked in the game? Well, to answer the first question, my friend Alvin is essentially what keeps me playing the game to this day. Being able to have a discussion with a friend about the characters, the events, the main story is essentially what kept me going. A few days after I started playing the game, I told my friend Alvin about it. I can't recall much from that conversation, but I think I did tell him that I liked the storyline so far, and I did really like the characters. I just started playing the game, so I couldn't really make out what's in this Honkai Star Rail extended universe. There were just so many new things, new concepts, new words, and the game itself had a gacha system, which we will talk about, but at the time I had to ask my friend Alvin for explanation, since I didn't really understand how it worked. This was my first gacha game. Alvin, being experienced with gacha systems of other games, was much more knowledgeable and very helpful. Fun fact, if you look through the characters I have in the game, you'll see that I have Kafka, Blade, Locha, Rasetsu. They're not really the characters I use these days, and I've never dreamt of creating a DOT Kafka team or Blade Super Destruction team. Those are just the characters that I got because I needed to get familiar with gacha system. And I needed the 5-star characters because I was still playing Chinchua back then. I was there when Zella was the featured character in 1.0. I really wanted to get her, and she was also another reason why I played the game, but I didn't have enough tickets at the time, so I only got her on her first and the only rerun later that year. But even then, I lost 50-50 to Himeko. So yeah, actually still have that video on YouTube of me rolling about a week after I lost my 50-50, and I actually did get Zella. So anyways, my friend Alvin didn't play the game until like late May or early June. So when I finished the Bellabog storyline, started the Xianzhou storyline, and spent all the tickets I had to try and get Zella, I stopped playing the game. He didn't actually tell me when he started playing the game, and when I did find out, he had already finished the Bellabog storyline, wherever was at the time the Xianzhou storyline, and he even got Silverwolf, you know, the character I always wanted to have. I can honestly blabber on for hours about those good old days, but let's move on. Honkai Star Rail lore shares some similarities with other games by the same developer Hoyoverse. It even shares certain cliché elements with other gacha games, like the world being in chaos and shit like that. Nothing seems to happen during peaceful times. Every game has to take place during some global disaster. I can't speak too much about Honkai Impact 3rd because I didn't play the game, but I know bits and pieces of the lore. Basically, there's this force that exists in a universe called Honkai, which is what the games are named after. Honkai is a very interesting concept. It is a force that essentially opposes the development of civilizations, corrupts living organisms and such. Basically, if you are the developed civilization, there is gonna be a time you will have to face and deal with corruption. the government. I feel like it's a very interesting idea which could explain the Fermi paradox, in my opinion. Maybe the reason why we don't see other advanced civilizations is because they don't get through the corruption. That idea carries over to other games like Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. Unlike Honkai Impact Third, which is the game about third manifestation of Honkai on Earth, Honkai Star Rail is about exploring other worlds in which Honkai, or in this game it's called Stellaron, has appeared. We start with the city of Belobog on Yarilo 6, where the world has been corrupted for like 700 years, and because of that, it's always a freezing winter on their planet. Then we move on to Xianzhou Rofu, where the follower of an Ion of Destruction has brought Stellaron to Xianzhou to cause destruction. Then there was a Stellaron on Pinocchio, or there is a Stellaron on Pinocchio, but I don't really know what's happening with it. And then there is Stellaron on Amphorius, which causes Black Tide, which in turn caused the Titan of Strife, which is the local god, to just kill people. As you may see, you kinda need a degree in Honkai Star Rail lore to actually understand and know what's going on. By the way, Zenless Zone Zero is also a game about Honkai, but in this game it's called Hollow. And there are many hollows which swallow entire cities and corrupt people and shit like that. You can enter hollows, but then you're exposed to either corruption. People in this game use hollows to smuggle things around. Zenless Zone Zero is not a game about traveling from planet to planet like Honkai Star Rail. Instead, it's a game focused on city life and basically how everyone, the government and society, are surviving among those hollows. This corruption that appeared in their world.